Good afternoon and welcome to the Real Estate Focus Group. We meet here every other Tuesday at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. It's open to all brokers and associates and realtors. And today we're very pleased to have a very special guest today. Now, I don't want to waste a lot of time introducing Gabriel, but he is phenomenal. If you've been to the Next Home Conference, you've probably seen him on the big screen or on the big stage rather. And Gabriel, how many units did you close last year?
128.
128.
We're going to get into that.
And you did this by yourself.
Yeah, I
No,
don't have a team. Yep. So,
no,
yep.
nothing.
Yeah, we're going to talk about
Okay,
this.
so that if that alone doesn't get your attention, nothing will. So, Gabriel, why don't you start off? Just tell us, like, real quickie about yourself and also where you work, so that we can refer business to you as well.
Sure. Well, my name's Gabriel Black. I think it's actually today. I was going to go back and check, but I think today is, I've been in the industry 8 years. I'm from Williston, North Dakota, small rural town, about 40 miles south of the Canadian border and 15 from Montana. Definitely an oil town. I've got a wife of almost 19 years and four kids at home, and yeah, that's about it.
That is awesome. So,
I have a list. I
wait,
have I have like a whole thing of questions.
wait a minute.
I don't want to get you nervous.
All right, I might need to go first then. So,
Funny.
so Gabriel's agreed to do this informal style today. This is a rare opportunity where you can ask Gabriel anything. So feel free to ask questions as we go along. We're all friends here, so we can do this informal style. But I'd like to kick it off. Now, I know everybody's wondering, like, how do you get that kind of business? But I'd like to start at the other end, Gabriel. How do you manage that kind of volume of transactions?
So actually last year, June, I finally hired a transaction coordinator because I was doing everything up to that point and it just was too much. My goal in life is to enjoy life and spend time with my kids, but the paperwork and everything else was just it was taking me away from the family too much. So I did hire a transaction coordinator, best thing I ever did. She was actually an agent that worked with us in our office, but moved to South Carolina. So she gave her license up, but she was still able to do a lot of the this paperwork for me and keep that going. So she's awesome. Couldn't do it without her. Um, but I think it's just I don't know. I'm kind of type A. I am very organized. I know how to do things. It's hard for me to relinquish that control. So that's why it took me so long to get a transaction coordinator because I wanted to do it the way that I knew it was going to get done right. Yeah, and that's I don't know. I've got a little board in my office where I write every deal that's currently going on, and I just make sure that's updated, and we just come in the office every day and just get her done.
Now, wait a minute. You mean to tell me you don't have some kind of complex, high-tech system that that keeps track of all this with AI and screens? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
No, I should be. I'm sure it would make my life a lot easier. No, I'll show you quick. This is what I have on my board right there. I just keep that updated. It's just got basic information, and I just come in every day and make sure we're on track with everything. And I'm old school. I Next Home offers so many amazing products on the back end that I do not utilize because I've just kind of gotten into a rhythm. I know what to do, and it's hard for me to add one more thing because I'm trying to get rid of things in my life to allow some more freedom. So I like that you said this is going to be an informal style because it is. I'm not going to be someone that has all these super like awesome tips and tricks. I'm just very like pretty vanilla and just say, listen, this is how I do it. Everyone has the same ability that I do. I don't have anything that you guys don't have. I don't have any secrets or anything like that. I just do it a certain way, and I really just care about my clients, and that is kind of like what I do and who I am.
Well, when we saw you at the conference, that's one thing that really impressed us about you was that you you didn't have any special secret sauce. It's something that we kind of felt like, wow, we could do this too if we just kind of follow your advice. And that's one thing that really stuck with us is it's not about buying special software or hiring a bunch of people. You're proof that this is possible for anybody.
Absolutely. Yeah, like I said, everyone has the same ability that I do. I'm not special or anything else. I love what I do, so there's passion in it. It's not like, when you have a first-time job, maybe you're working for someone else, you don't really care, so you don't put the effort in to maybe do it your best, right? Well, when you're working for yourself, like I invest time in, hey, how can I be the best I can be in this area? I really want to succeed here. So I have that passion and drive and desire to be better. So I will invest my time researching maybe this item to focus in. But it really comes down, in my opinion, for every single person out there, whether you're a first timer or you've been in the industry for 20 years, like just being authentic. People can see authenticity and they can read right through, a lot of BS out there. You know what I mean? I don't want to be considered a used car salesman. I don't want people to look at me and say, wow, he's just trying to push this on me. I want people to feel peace when they're working with me. I want them to feel like, wow, I trust this guy. He's looking out for my best interest and not just a paycheck for himself. And that's how I've always went into this business because I actually enjoy it. It's not just a money-making thing for me. And I think that authenticity just really proves itself to be true and people trust it. And if you want to have a relationship with someone, whether it's in business or just even in a marriage or whatever, you really want to have that trust there. And if you aren't able to do that right from the bat, you're not going to have clients referring you. And I have all my clients are just referral based. That's where I get it. I don't buy leads or anything. And like I said, that's anyone can do it. I mean, I'm in a small town. We got 35,000 people here. It's not like we've got this mecca of like, it's not like that. Wherever you're at, this is kind of like you can do the same thing I'm doing. Just be authentic and true and be honest. Bring that level of professionalism to the industry that's not there, unfortunately. I said it on stage too. There's a negative perception of real estate agents, and I want to change that. Like we work really hard. I used to have hair before I started this business. Now it's gone because it's so stressful. But I want people to realize like we do work hard for what we do. But at the same time, let's be professional. Like we can be ethical. I want to be a man of integrity in every decision that I do, and I want that to be the thing that carries me through. And that's a legacy I want to leave for my kids as well. So I think those principles are what keep me doing what I'm doing, and people can see that it's authentic and they feel safe and they want me to work with them.
Wow, what great advice. Jim Ahern just posted a question that's kind of a follow-up to that. So we know that you're not buying leads, you're relying on referrals. And what do you do to make sure your pipeline stays full? What's the main driver of that?
Well, it's a smaller community here, but I am involved in our community. And so I think the fact that I keep staying in front of people and they'll have maybe a good experience with me because I did do a good job selling their house, they're going to refer me to their clients, and they're going to also see me, hey, like this morning, my broker Heather, she's awesome. She's on here right now. We just donated some time and we went and did Meals on Wheels for the elderly in our community. So always just making sure that you're donating back, giving to the community, and making sure you're staying in front of them in a positive way. I mean, that's what keeps my pipeline full, and I just keep getting more and more referrals coming in that way.
I had a question about that too, because when you were on the stage, you talked about some community events that you do. And I
Mhm.
know you do something around Christmas time. And I was wondering if you could tell
Yep.
us a little bit about what you do with that.
Sure. So with my clients, the ones that actually stay in town, otherwise it gets to be too much if I have like there just gets to be sometimes too many clients. So the ones that I will buy a house and will stay here, yeah, each year I try to do something different. So we had a friend that made sourdough loaves 2 years ago. So all my clients, I bought them a loaf of sourdough with a little card on it, like a Christmas card from our family, and we just went and hand delivered them to all of our clients. Last year we did like my cousin developed a hot sauce company. And so her and her husband, I just ordered a whole bunch of bottles of hot sauce and delivered that to them, my clients, and just kind of some just small, that's not a huge gesture, but something that makes them remember that I was a part of their life and I helped them get to where they were with the house they're in. And that just kind of creates that sense of, continuing relationships. So that's what we do.
So when you're doing the hand delivered gifts, do you
Yep.
just, it's like a kind of like you just stop in, or do you like leave it
Yep.
on the doorstep, or what do you do with that? Like,
Nope. I'll call or text. I'll
okay, you
call or
will.
text.
Okay.
Yep. And then or just show up with my kids. We'll knock on the door
Okay.
and be like, hey, Merry Christmas. Drop it
Okay.
off.
Okay.
Try to get the kids involved as much as possible so they can see what I do. Otherwise, I just usually leave in the morning, say I go to work, and I like them to be involved as well.
One thing you also said on the stage, which is going to go back to your how many deals you do a year, is that I think it was the first year you started out with 17, and then you eventually went to 95 and a half deals by yourself. And then this past year you went to 128 deals with over 30 million. I took a screenshot of when you went up on stage because I'm like, I got to see what he did in volume this past year. And when I saw 128 deals, I was just blown away by that because I don't know, like how many transactions do you like keep on that board and like in a week or a month or how many do
Well,
you
so yeah, sorry, great question. So I keep everything on there until it closes, and once I get that check, like the final check that comes in, I input it. I will erase it off my board. So the most I've ever had at one time that I can remember was 19 deals at one time going, and so I don't like that because it is before, and that was before I had my transaction coordinator. Like mentally, it was exhausting. Always making sure I didn't miss a deadline for inspection objection or all these different things. Like it got to be a lot. But now with her help, it's way easier. But I still keep everything up there as a deal's in there until I collect that final commission check and put it into my, I just keep a record of it. It doesn't get erased. So I always know it's up there. I know what our estimated closing date is. I know what title company we're closing at. Yeah, that's how that kind of works.
So one thing I did read about Williston, North Dakota is that you are like having higher growth in that area due to an oil boom. Is that correct?
Yeah, and that was
I was
mainly
wondering,
back in like
yeah.
2008. That's when really everything
Oh,
kicked off. Back in 2008,
okay.
2009,
Long
all the
time
way up till
ago.
about 13, things were real crazy. And it's really become a transient community because a lot of guys will come up here. It's mainly male dominated in the oil industry. You're going to have guys be on a hitch for 2 weeks on, and then they'll go back home, whether it's in another country or they'll fly back to their house in Houston or wherever where their family's at for 2 weeks, and they come back up here. So it's changed now in the last 5 years where a lot of the families are coming up here because it's not just a temporary thing. The men or the people that are coming up here are getting really good jobs, great paying jobs. And so they bring the families up, and now it's become a lot more of a family community, which is great.
So how are you getting some of that business, or are you getting some of that business from, do you have like an in with that community or, and how did you get that in if you do?
Sure. Um, I do. I would say I do have it in a little bit. So my older brother Malachi, he is part owners in an oil company up here. They do acid for well sites, and so some of his clients or his employees, sorry, would he'll refer them like, hey, here's someone. But I'm just from here, and because of that, a lot of people that come up here were very involved in the community. They just start hearing, oh, Gabriel Black, he must be related to that guy. And I also have an identical twin brother. He builds houses. So we kind of just, yeah, we're just involved and people know. So they just word of mouth and just, I guess, referral based just kind of helps out.
Another thing, I have, like I said, I have pages of notes because I took notes from when you spoke at conference, but I've also been watching you on Facebook. And so one of the things that I do remember you talked about was that everything is very organic with you. Like you meet people just kind of on the street or in a coffee shop or, something like that. And it's not really, it doesn't sound like it's a very formal kind of meeting. And is this really how like you're doing it? Like you're not sitting in your office, I'm assuming that you have a brick and mortar, right? Do you have a
Yep. Yep. I'm in here
yeah.
right now.
Yeah, I
Yep.
figured that.
Yep.
And you're not sitting in there, you're getting like out in the community and meeting with people and having meetings and stuff like that. And so how are you maintaining that with all of your other business?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm just living life. Like if I'm going to a coffee shop or going to get, working out at the gym or whatever, like when I meet someone, I'm not, my first thing isn't like, hey, I'm a real estate broker. Do you need a house? It's not how I roll. I am completely opposite of that. I will stay in the back. But if I'm with some friends or someone brings someone, they're like, hey, this guy, he's your guy. He will do a great job if you need anything real estate related. And then it naturally comes up and I'm like, yep, I do it. Yes, I sell real estate. How can I help you? It's more of that. But I'm out every day. Like I said, it's a smaller community, but we are, yeah, I'm very involved. I'm part of the Chamber of the Commerce as well. So we meet new people and businesses that are coming into town. And I'm probably the least formal person you'll ever meet. I'm very just
I
relaxed,
got
and I
that
just like to
from,
keep.
yeah, I got that from when you were talking on stage. Like you are who you are wherever you are. That's kind of what I
Yes.
got from you. Yeah.
Yep.
And I know
Absolutely.
that you're a church going man and
Yes.
you're a
Love
God
Jesus.
man. I know we do too. So, and are you involved in your church at all? Like, do you get business from that, or is that kind of like a thing that you don't try to do, or how does that work with you?
Great question. So we actually we had kind of a small group church happening in the last, well, probably the last 3 years. That just stopped. So we are church shopping right now. But my brother, there's four of us boys. We and a couple friends started this men's group last year. It was May of last year. And we just had about 8 guys, and it's grown to, at one point we had over 300 men on a Tuesday morning at 5:30 a.m. every Tuesday. So now we're roughly around 150 to 200 coming, and it's been really powerful and great for the people in our community. But once again, it just organically will come up where I'll have clients that I'll be like, "Hey, I think you should come join." So they'll come and then they'll tell some family members or friends about it, and then it just keeps spreading like that. The more that you just kind of get involved with things.
Oklahoma Steve, do you want to unmute yourself?
Oh, I can. I wasn't prepared to.
That's okay. How you doing?
Good. How are you all?
Good. I figured you
Great.
want to ask your own question.
Okay. Gabriel, I was just curious how much of your business is focused on listings versus buyers?
I would say right
And
now
if
I'm
you have,
probably 75% listings, 25% buyer.
that's a good, healthy business.
Yep. Yep.
And how
And
many,
that honestly, that's how it's been probably for most of my career. I don't know why. It's just I do more listings than I do work with buyers.
and what's your market like right now? Like how many like days on market or anything like that that you could tell us a little bit about? Is it a seller's market, a buyer's market, you know?
It's definitely, in my opinion, a seller's market. The last couple of houses I put on in the last 2 weeks, multiple offers over ask. It's just it's that springtime rush when people, I think, especially where we're at, because it people get a little bit just depressed and tired of the cold and the weather. So when it gets warm, which it was, I think people are like, hey, let's maybe upgrade, and they're realizing, interest rates are higher than they'd like them to be, but they know it's not forever. And so I think after holding off for so long, it's like, hey, it's time. We've outgrown this. Let's just go for it and see what happens. And I think that's the mindset that's really causing a lot of these. And we also have a lack of inventory, which obviously affects that a lot. So
So one other question I had, well, I have more, but how hands are you on your listings and are you doing it all? I know you have that beautiful photograph behind you and you are a photographer. I mean, do you do your own photography, your drone? I mean, are you doing like it all or are you hiring out?
I do everything, yeah, everything except the drone work, because my younger brother has a drone photography business. So I'll hire him, and I do everything else on the inside. Yep, I do my all my interior photos. I've just done it for so many years being a photographer, so it just works out really well that I can take care of that myself.
You usually do the photography.
Yes, I was a commercial photographer before I was a realtor, so we kind of
Awesome.
do the same thing. We do our own everything.
Yep,
We do hire
that's
out
awesome.
though.
Occasionally, if we're too busy, your schedule doesn't work
Yeah.
out, we'll hire someone. But go ahead, Pat.
Um, Also, how do you handle toxic clients? And what about your boundaries? Like I know, like it took us a while to try find our church family, which we did back in October, November. It took us quite a while to re-find our church family because our pastor got dementia. And so we had to find a new church family. And so we did. But Sundays is really kind of sacred for us now. And I was wondering if you have any boundaries like that where Sundays family time or how you work that in.
Great question. So when I spoke on stage last year, I did not have any hard boundaries, and I did talk about it. That's the hardest thing in my life right now, with my wife and my family and myself. Just being as busy as you are. I was really working on it, and so since then, actually, I have developed some boundaries. I promised my wife I would take one day off a week, and it is Sunday, so I don't work on Sunday. There's an occasional text that I might put through just because something is urgent, but I try not to do any work on Sundays. And I just need to do that just for sanity. And also I realized like I can go as hard as I want to, and it's not going to be beneficial for me long in the long run. And also my kids, I don't want them to always see me glued to my phone, always having to leave quick. I want them to say, hey, no, they are a priority. Same with my wife. So yep, I don't do that anymore. And actually, this last conference when we were down in Dallas, my awesome broker, Heather, and a colleague of mine, Kim, sat me down there like, listen, Gabe, it was the night of the awards gala. They're like, from now on, at 9 o'clock, you're no longer, you have to put it on do not disturb, and you cannot text anyone back, and you cannot text anyone back until the next morning at 8 a.m. And so I've been trying to do that. It's not been successful. Sorry, Heather, but I am going to start implementing that in because I do need to have those boundaries. It's life is too short, and there'll always be another deal. There'll always be something else. And I think it's hard for me because being in a photographer for 12 years prior to this, you just never knew what was going to come in. So you would take it as it came and you'd be grateful for it. And you'd be like, I have to take this because I don't know what's going to come next month. Same thing in the industry now. It's just something I've always known. So I'm always grateful for what comes, but I also take every opportunity because I don't want to miss out, right? But dealing with the toxic clients, I've only had a few, luckily. One, I've only ever had to really fire one, and I talked about it on stage. He just started calling me some words, and my wife was in the background, and she's like, "Nope, you're not working with this guy." And so, I have learned though, if there's a client right off the bat that I just feel like we're not going to be the right fit, I'm not going to force it anymore. I'm not going to say, "Hey, I'm going to make this work." Um, I just know that life is too short to be stressed out with these clients that are going to just be a huge pain and suck a lot of time and my just mental well-being out of me. It's not worth it. And so I will start saying no to those. Um, yeah, so that has happened.
Well, and I hope I'm saying this name right. Inger has a question for you. Inger, would you like to unmute yourself and ask your question? Give you a second if you're able to do that.
Yes, hey, thank you so much. I just wanted to ask the question from the group. Some of us had a question about staging for those listings. Do you do staging on all of your listings? And if so, are you hiring that out, or are you doing all your own staging as well as your photography?
Great question. So we live in a very rural community. There's absolutely no staging companies up here at all. Most people don't even know what staging is, if I'm being honest with you. I feel like we're a little bit back in time. But no, what I will do is when I go into a house, I will make sure that I photograph it right. So I will like edit a lot of stuff in the house out. Like I will move it to another room. I will shoot what I need so the shot looks great. Um, I just have that eye because I'm a photographer. I know what looks right, what doesn't. I get rid of as much as I can. And when I do my listing, when I go over to talk with my clients, I will be honest with them and I say, listen, I'm not here to be rude. I don't want to just float your boat either. I want to be honest with you. I want to get you, I'm working for you to get you the highest and best. Right now, you've got a lot of great things in this house, but there's a little bit too much that's going to distract a buyer from seeing the potential in the house. So we're going to need to edit it out, right? So a lot of the personal items, I'll have them prep and do that. But if there's still a lot of stuff that looks really busy, I will take it out, move it to another room when I shoot, and then I'll bring it right back right afterwards. Just so the initial image is going to look great, get those people in, and then when those buyers do come in and they might be overwhelmed with the amount of stuff, at least we got them through that door and they can actually see for themselves the property. But no, I wish we had a staging company up here, but we have no one that does it, so nothing gets staged. Nothing.
Do you use virtual staging like Box Brownie?
I do not.
You don't. Okay.
I do not. I haven't done it yet. I've done it. I take that back. Last year there was one client that his dad was a real estate broker down in he does high-end luxury homes in Florida, like near Jupiter Island and stuff. And so his dad wanted me to do that. So it was a fixer upper flip house. There was like no walls in it. So I did have a company do that to show people the potential, but typically, I will just photograph it the way it is, and I won't digitally stage anything. But it's a
Okay.
great idea and a great product. I just haven't had to incorporate that yet.
Well, Paul Derby has a question. Paul, if you'd like to unmute yourself.
Hey, Gabriel. Paul Derby. I'm out of Lansing, Michigan, and I've been in the real estate business for 20 years plus. Been with NextHome now for about 4 years. Congratulations on your success. That's awesome. Excited to hear
Thank you.
that. My question for you is the future. Where do you see yourself in, let's say, 3, 5, 10 years? And the reason I like to ask that question is I've seen a lot of agents, typically a little older than you though, where they have great success, but then they experience burnout and just out of exhaustion. And with you being, it sounds like you're a very dedicated family man, a very religious man, and also dedicated to your business. I'm very curious to see what kind of thought you have put to yourself for the future.
Great question. So my wife and I talk about this often. My wife is actually from South Africa, and we do go back every year in the wintertime because it's so cold here. We do go for about 6 to 8 weeks. And so that is something, and because of that, we homeschool because it's hard to take my kids out of school for that length of time. So yeah, to be honest with you, my goal is to be able to continue to be successful in what I'm doing. I don't not take jobs. I want to do everything that I can, whether it's a manufactured or $1 million listing. Treat everyone the same, and I still want that. But I do want to get to a place where you're right. Like I don't want to be burnt out, and there are days where I feel like it just because of the workload. So I am consciously working towards. I would like to maintain a sense of balance, and when things get a little bit too much, refer those clients off and not feel like I'm doing a disservice to them. Like just be okay with giving those to my colleagues, knowing that they're going to be taken care of, but also like make sure my priority is not, how much can I put in my savings account? I want to make sure that my kids have a present dad, my husband, my wife has a husband that's there. So I am working on leveling out now and just maintaining rather than seeking more business because I don't want to be busier than I was last year. Um, it's exciting for a point, but also it's not something that I want for longevity. And then also in a perfect world, we are trying to see if we can get to be about 4 months out of the year in South Africa with her family. It's a place that we really, really enjoy and love, and families down there. So that I don't know how that looks because I want to make sure I maintain my clients here. But in a perfect world, just speaking, like that is a goal that we kind of have in mind.
Now that brings up an interesting point. Do you have any people in your office that you rely on to cover for you? So, like for example, if you're out sick for a couple of days, do you have an arrangement with anybody where they can fill in?
We've got an amazing brokerage here. Heather's done an awesome job within our community of agents. We've got 12 agents in our office, and we're like family. So when anyone needs something, they'll put it on the group text, hey, can someone show this? I'm out, or I got this, or whatever. And everyone will just pick it up and say, yep, I'll help you out. I'll do this. And we just do it back and forth. And yeah, everyone has things that come up in life. So it's nice that you have those people to rely on. So we all just help each other out.
Oh, that is awesome. We have the same thing in our brokerage, and it's a lifesaver and takes a lot of stress off.
Absolutely.
We just all help each other out.
Yeah, we just help each other.
Yep.
Um, so what method of contact do you use to like stay in touch with like your past clients, your clients that you're working with right now? I don't know if you use a product called BombBomb. I don't know if you ever heard of it even, but Chuck does
Yep.
weekly
Heard of it.
BombBombs every Monday. Monday's like admin day, and he is the one that sends out the BombBombs to our active clients, telling them what's been going on for the week, and people freak out. They absolutely love it. And it's kind of short and sweet.
And for those of you who are not familiar with BombBomb, it's a service that allows you to send video emails to
Yeah.
people. And so when we're talking about BombBomb, that's what it is, video email.
If
Go
you want
ahead,
to
Pat.
know more, you can ask him.
I'll tell you anything.
He's the one that uses it
I
more than
love it.
me. Yeah, he
Yeah,
loves it. So, yeah, I'm just
Chuck, I'll be
curious, like,
calling you about that.
oh, good.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
It's the cornerstone of our business.
So, what
Great.
method of contact do you use then for your actives, your pests, keeping in touch?
Well, honestly, it mainly probably be seeing them in person, just talking, text, phone, kind of what naturally just comes up. It's not, I know a lot of people use a CRM and stay, in contact and send out monthly or yearly things on anniversaries. I should do that. I just have never implemented it because I've been too busy. And it's just one more thing that I'd have to learn. And I'm like, I just don't have that mental capacity right now, especially in the last couple of years. Just the amount of busyness I had. It was just like one more thing I didn't want to add. Although I want people to know just because I don't do these things, like you should, because they are created with a purpose. They're probably fantastic and they're going to help your business and they probably help mine. I just am at a place where I'm like, I don't want to add one more thing yet. It takes a while for me to try something new. Just because I've got a process that works. But yeah, I'll have to call you about that, Chuck, because mom, that could be a great asset for sure.
It truly is. I'd like to tell you about it. And I've got a question that's kind of related. How does social media fit into this whole picture for you, or does it?
Um, I'm not as active as a lot of agents are. Like, honestly, I've been trying to eliminate a lot of extra um, time wasters in my life. So I do have Facebook. I go on there specifically just to post all the new listings. Um, any business related things, I'll do it, but otherwise, that's it. I'm not scrolling anymore. I do have Instagram. I started it. I put three things on there, I think, and that's as far as I got. And that was probably 2 years ago. So I know social media is where it's at, and I'm going to try to incorporate that a little bit heavier in my business. But at the same time, I'm trying to find a balance where I'm not having to do all these things that take time away just to put myself out there anymore. I'm trying to maintain, right? So I do have a social media presence, but it's not like most people's out there. It probably looks terrible, honestly, compared to most people's.
Well, that's really interesting because what I'm hearing here is that you can be successful doing what you want to do. Like, for
Mhm.
example, we know agents who do very well with door knocking, but we hate doing it, so we don't. And we know others that do really great with direct mail. We haven't, but it seems like anything that you decide to do, if you do it, you'll see some success. And I mean, you're proof of that right there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I do want to say it is good to get out of your comfort zone. Like there's things in this in it, like what I've established as my process now, I didn't do in the beginning. There are things that I've had to like, okay, Gabe, do this, push yourself. It's gonna be, and it's become part of my process now and it works. So I don't want people to be like, just go with the flow and do whatever you want. Make it is good to get out, like push yourself a little bit because you are going to see a reward at the end. Everything that's good in life, I feel like takes a little bit of hard work. But yeah, I just don't want it to look so blasé that like I just don't do anything and I don't really care because I do. I just what I'm doing now is what's working, so I'm just gonna kind of stick with that.
That's a good point because if what you want to do is sit on the couch and eat potato chips, that's probably not a good business plan. But Missy, you had a question. So Missy, if you'd like to unmute yourself, feel free to ask your question.
I was just wondering how your listings kind of how the ratio is like mostly land, mostly residential, like what does it kind of end up being for you?
Sure. I would say like last year out of the 128, I think I probably had like 40 or 50 lots. So that helps your numbers, obviously. And then the rest is, I'd say 98% of that is going to just be residential. Every once in a while, I'll have a fourplex, which is still like, 4 units or less. So still residential. I might have one or two commercial deals a year, but mainly residential is where my heart's at. I've flipped houses before, renovated them. That's just kind of where my passion's at. My twin brother builds, like I said, so it's just a natural thing that we're good at and what we like. So that's why I think that's kind of where my bread and butter come from.
So I heard from somebody who's online, but her name won't be mentioned. She said, Pat, I missed the first 15 minutes of the training with Gabriel. I don't understand how he was so successful. What did he do? Can you put a little synopsis on that? I know she missed the 14 minutes, and this is recorded, so you can go back and listen. But I'd like her to hear it from you.
Well,
Just
I'm glad you're repeating this because it's shocking. Your answer to this is
okay.
absolutely shocking. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, I'm myself. I try to be authentic in every relationship I build, and I've just known that in life, whether it's business or personal, um, you feel comfortable when you trust someone, and I make sure make my clients feel seen. I make sure they feel heard, and that just creates a natural bond where they can trust you, and that's essentially like I care more about my relationships with my clients and with people in my life than I do about getting a paycheck, right? I the last thing in the world, and I've said this many times and I'll reiterate again, I never want someone to feel like I'm a car salesman. I don't want people to feel pressured or pushed. It is the largest financial decision they'll probably ever make. And I don't want them to look back at me and be like, man, he really was pushing me here for and it wasn't the best fit. Like I will never, 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 never have someone say that about me. I want them to feel peace and confident going into a purchase, right? I just want them to know that I'm there to help them and guide them, give them the pros and the cons, and allow them to kind of navigate for themselves. Oh, this is the house I want, and this is the reason why, right? I've seen things on TV from different TV shows where there's an agent that is so pushy and is trying to put something almost in that client's mind, like this is what you've been looking for, this is what you want. And they do it, and then they have buyer's remorse because it's not what they wanted. And I want them to always feel like I've got their best interests, not mine. And so I genuinely just care about my clients, and I think that builds the trust. And because of that, they want to use me, and then they'll refer me because they felt like I was someone that was really trustworthy. And I think that's what we all want in life out of any relationship. We just want to feel like we can trust someone and no one's going to take advantage of us. So in a nutshell, I'd say that's how my business is where it's at.
Well
I
said.
love that. I hope that answered her question. Um, so tell us about your daily life. It's Monday morning, you wake up. I know you do devotions. We talked about that.
Yep.
And but tell us about your daily life. What do you like a day, what kind of is a typical day for you?
Sure. Wake up, and first thing I'll do is I'll go read a chapter in the Bible. I start my day off with devotions. Then the kids will probably get up. We'll make some breakfast, and then we start homeschool with my my third son. I help him out. My wife takes the other two, and we have a 1-year-old daughter, so she just chills and lives her best life. And then after that, usually around 10 o'clock, I head out. I go to the office. Although this morning, like I had a listing appointment at 9, I had to take photos for a listing. So it depends, but I try to be there till about 10 o'clock to help out. And then yeah, I'll be out, stop in periodically throughout the day to see what my wife and the kids. But yeah, kind of just you know how our job is. We're kind of at the mercy of some of our clients' timelines, and so I spend as much time at the office getting paperwork done and that kind of stuff. And it's quiet here. I can't work at the house just because there's a lot of chaos and activity, so I don't get a lot done. But otherwise, yeah, that's it. And as much as I'd like to say go to bed early, like I don't. I'm more of a late owl, so I stay up late trying to get work done, whether it's new listings or appointments and dealing with that stuff. And that's essentially how my day goes.
So I know you mentioned earlier about having boundaries. And so one thing I did on my phone, my voicemail, I put my hours on my voicemail, and that really kind of switched things a little bit. I work from 7 a.m. I'm a morning person. I'm not a night owl like you. So I wake up at 5, 5 a.m. or even earlier. So, but yeah, so I put, my hours are from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So
Okay.
I think doing that on our voicemail is kind of like a boundary for us too. Sometimes, yes, we will get people, you're in the middle of a transaction and it's kind of chaotic and stuff. And okay, so you have to do stuff after hours, but we try not to do stuff. He works more at night than me because he's not a morning person either. So our schedules are a little off. But I just wanted to mention that about maybe putting your hours, whatever your hours are, 10 to 10 or whatever, you know.
That's great. No, that's
Yeah,
good.
I just love that. I hope other people do that as well. It kind of like I think in real estate we try not to have boundaries because we're always trying to get the next deal. And really, I honestly we really need to have those boundaries. Are there any
You're
other
right.
boundaries that you have that you would like to talk about?
Yeah, so recently my wife, she just kind of basically was like, Dave, this is how we're going to do it. When you're home, we don't want to see your phone. I want you, because I say I'm home all the time. Like, I'll help out. She's like, but you're not present because your phone's always with you. And I'm really starting to realize that you're right. Even though I'm there, I'm mentally checked out because I know a call's coming or something. So she's like, when you're at home, the phone's off. And I want you to, or just not even in the room, but to the side. When your time you need to go work, you look at your missed calls and the messages and you can deal with it then. So that is a boundary that I've started to implement in my life too. And It's hard to do, but like I said, my goal is I want my kids to look back and see that I was a present dad. I don't want them to be like, my dad always worked, he was never there. And it's like, for what? To make some more money and then what? Not be present. That's not what I want. I really want to be an intentional husband and father. So it's hard as a provider too, because it's a one income family, right? My wife stays home with the kids. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, I've always got to like, but this and this. I have all these excuses. But my heart's really saying that's not what you want. So why are you compromising? Don't compromise. Like this is a priority and stick with it, right? Your clients can wait and they'll be fine. So I'm working on that. That's a really hard one. As dumb as it sounds, like that is one of the hardest things that I have tried to change in my business life.
Now, have you found that as you start to implement these boundaries in your life, that it makes your business even more sustainable?
I think so because I feel like I can sustain myself. For a while there, when you're always at everyone's call and just like you always have to be on, mentally it's exhausting and you get burnt out so fast. And then you feel like you're causing stress at home because you're not bringing peace when you show up, you're bringing chaos because you're stressed. And it just makes everything worse. But when you do have boundaries, boundaries are healthy, even though they might seem like they're kind of keeping you from, succeeding in areas, it's actually going to help you out better. So you're right, Chuck. Like it absolutely definitely helps the business and just family life in general.
Yeah, that's good advice. That's something that dealt with myself recently, where I started just not liking my profession anymore because I was working so much
Yeah.
and it didn't have any fun in it. And after I started setting some boundaries and slowing down, seems like the more I slow down, the more faster I go.
No, that's so good. It's 100% accurate. That's wise.
Oklahoma Steve wrote, there are no emergencies in real estate. I always say we're not heart surgeons. I see people on their
That's
phones
so
and
true.
they're texting and driving. I feel like rolling my window down. I'm from Brooklyn. We have a whole different way of treating things. So I'm like, get off your phone. You're not a heart surgeon, waiting for that call. You're not doing a transplant today.
Yeah, when we're driving, I have to
Good.
put the kid lock on in the car so Pat won't roll the window down or get out and talk to somebody.
Oh God. These people drive me crazy, especially in Florida. I don't know how it is other places, but they're always on their damn phone
They're everywhere.
everywhere, I guess. But um, so I wrote down here, it doesn't necessarily have to be 10 things, but what do you suggest people do today to get 10 or more deals for the year? Like what are some things that you suggest that we all do in our business that will
Starting to,
starting today? I wrote in big letters, in capital letters today, because I'm just
Great.
curious. Yeah.
I'd say the number one is get involved. I think a lot of people think, everything might have to be social media related or have to be behind a computer, but like, no, people still like human interaction and they want to see you. They want to know you're more than just a face on a billboard or a social media post. So I'd say get involved with your community. And the more that you're out there and you create relationships, that's what people want. And that's what they're going to see. And they're like, oh yeah, that's right. I work with this guy. He's this or this. So I definitely feel like getting involved, whether it's whatever it is, whether it's your church or your community, like there's a lot of different places that you can go that you can feel like you're getting something out of it too, and you're not just giving your time. And you can meet a lot of great people that way and build those connections. And that's just even that one thing alone is going to honestly could change your business because then the one person you meet might refer you to someone else, and then those two refer you, and before long, you have 50 people coming to you to sell a house, and they wouldn't have known if you never would have showed up to that one event. So it is important to get out and not just, sit behind your computer hoping that something's going to happen. Um, man, I feel like that's just such a big one. Like 10, I'd be making up all the other nine right now, if I'm honest with you.
I think that
Uh,
one that you gave us is really good
yeah, if I think of any
because
more, I'll
we
let you
found
know.
that to be true.
we found that to be true as well.
And if there's anybody listening who has some difficulty or isn't sure where to start, there's a website called meetup.com. Meetup.com.
It's not a dating site, by the way.
Well, there are dating meetups,
There are, but that's not what it's
but
used for.
it doesn't matter what you're interested in. There are people getting together and doing that in your area. Like, for example, Pat and I have vintage Volkswagens. Well, there's a vintage Volkswagen group here in the area that all gets together and sits around, talks about Volkswagens, and has a good time. And
And we do
that's
events with
and
them.
we do events with them.
Yeah.
We've gotten a lot of business from that group because we're just out doing something we enjoy doing and making friends and doing what you're describing, Gabriel.
It's just doing like-minded things. Like
Yep.
there's so many events and so many. I don't know if you all have ever heard of meetup.com, but there's just so much. Actually, that's how Chuck and I met,
In a
was through
photography
two
meetup group.
different photography meetup groups. Trust me, it's not for dating, but it just happened to work out that way.
Well, that's how you meet nice
One.
people as
But
well.
that's how you meet people where it's very safe and it's not creepy and you're just doing like-minded things. So it's a lot of fun and you can meet some really great folks.
And it's way more fun than networking meetings.
Yes. Where everyone just wants to hand you their card, give me business, give me business. It's not like that at
Yeah.
all.
Nobody's looking for business.
No. So Jill Bennett said, I very much appreciate having Gabe as a speaker as we have similar business practices. I struggle with boundaries as well, and it is good to hear him speak about them. Thank him for me. Great session. Are you welcome, Jill?
I think we all feel
I
that
think we
way.
all feel that way,
Absolutely.
which is why we wanted Gabriel on today.
Yeah, because one thing, and I hate to be patronizing, but one thing we really wanted to have you on for is because we knew you'd tell us the truth. We knew you'd just tell it to us straight up, no fluff, and just tell us anything that we want to know. And we really appreciate you for that.
My pleasure. Absolutely.
Anybody else have any questions? I'm looking through my questions.
Yeah,
I have
this is a rare opportunity
several pages of
to
questions.
to have a top producer tell you anything you want to know and tell you the truth and not try and sell you a coaching program.
Right.
Absolutely. I am not, there is no coaching program for me. I
There's
swear to
no
God.
coaching programs involved.
Nope, and it never will be. So that's for sure.
Yeah, you already have a full-time job.
No, I just feel like honestly, I don't have much to share. I told my broker Heather earlier. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to say because I don't have any methods. I don't have a one, two, three. This is going to make you successful. It's just I just try to be myself, and it's just it works because there's authenticity. I think so.
That's the
That's why
genius
I
of
don't
it.
know. It almost seems too simple though, but that's just where it works for me. So I think everyone has that same ability.
Well, I like what you said about getting involved in the community. And so Chuck is born and raised in St. Petersburg, Florida, has never lived anywhere else. And actually, we lived in a house for 13 years and we just moved in November to where we are now. And it's only like 18 minutes away from where we used to live. It's called Seminole, Florida. But I feel like Seminole is a little community that we should get more involved in. I was just telling him I'm going to find like a really good coffee shop near our house because I love coffee, but also then to meet other people in this area. So you've just kind of like instilled in me that again, that I really need to get out in this community where we are now. I don't want to say new in this community because he used to live in this house when he was 25 years old. So, and then for the last 15
Full
years,
circle.
it's like a full circle. We downsized to only 834 square feet. Yes, it's a tiny home. But we love it. And so I think what you said about getting out in the community, doing community events is really important. And we have not done those like community events and stuff like that. It's just the two of us. But I think that, you've really instilled in me today that where we live now in Seminole, we really need to get out and be more part of the community here.
Yep, awesome.
Yeah,
That's
I don't
great.
know about other people in here, how much they're involved in their communities, but I really feel like, that kind of just made it even more on the forefront for both of us to get more involved and not be so lazy either.
So get out there, meet people, be nice so that they like you,
Mhm.
and business will come your way automatically. Is that what I'm hearing here?
I would say you're probably right on. I would say it's as simple as that. Just be kind and do a good job of what you're doing, and people are going to want to be around it, and they're going to want you to be a part of what their next process is. Yep,
And
simple.
but like I said before, the genius in it is the simplicity of it.
I had a question about the men's group that you talked about. Was that in person at 5 o'clock, 5:30 in the morning, or was that on
Every
Zoom?
Tuesday morning at 5:30, we get
In
together
person.
in person. Yep.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been amazing. It's been,
Wow. Are you still doing that?
oh yeah, yep.
You
Every
are.
Tuesday. Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I like that idea.
I know you like that idea. Yeah. See, anybody else have any questions or, you can ask Gabriel anything. He's right here. If you didn't understand something, I know we'd love to hear from you guys if you have any more questions before we go.
Well, I'd like to say thank you to you two guys because you are like next home royalty.
Oh, you're
Awesome.
too
Thank
kind.
you for, no, but it's true. I mean, there's a reason why you guys got the Excellence Award 2 years ago, right?
A
Yes.
few years ago. It was in
Yeah,
Orlando.
that's what I'm saying. There's a reason. Yep, there's a reason why you did because you guys are
Appreciate
awesome.
that.
So thank you for allowing me to be able to share a little bit, and it's a huge honor. So I appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much.
It's an honor having you on here.
We're honored to have you on. And so if anybody has anybody moving out to your area, how can people get hold of you, Gabriel?
They can email me or they can, yeah, give me a call. It's just Gabriel Black. I'm at NextHome Frederickson Real Estate here in Williston, North Dakota. And yep,
You want to
that's
give
where
out
I'm
your
at.
phone number?
Sure. Do you want me to type it in the chat or just say it?
Just say it.
Just say it.
Yeah.
It's 701-570-7833.
78.
I'm assuming most people are not going to have people moving up to Williston, but if they did, yeah, it's 7833.
33. Okay.
Very good.
701-570-7833. Okay.
Well, we got two really great comments just popped up here. I'll read them to you. Oklahoma Steve says, he's just an enigma and no secrets to reveal. I love that.
Oh,
Steve,
man.
you're awesome.
That's funny. That's
And
funny.
Reed Wilson says, this has been incredibly valuable. I appreciate both Gabriel and the Vosbergs for showing some great tips and advice. So, Gabriel, thank you again so much. We're really grateful for your friendship. And this is the Real Estate Focus Group. We meet here at 1 o'clock Eastern Time every other Tuesday on Zoom. And it's open to all agents and brokers. And thank you so much for watching.